And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win, the week of Who Would Win. And coming up first from Quentin Blake, we have the question, not Quentin Blake, Quentin Black, actually. We have the question of who would win in a fight, Dr. Doom or Frieza? Now, they're both obviously, one's a tyrant, the other's more of a... Is it safe to say Dr. Doom's a I guess he is kind of a dictator. He's actually a really good leader of his country. So I wouldn't call him a dictator in that sense. He doesn't oppress his people, really. But in terms of, trying to conquer the world, I guess that makes him a dictator, kind of. Except, I don't know if that makes him a dictator because you have to be more, subjugating your people than... hold on. I was going to look up something for Victor, but Dictator. Hold on. Tator. Dictatorship. Okay. What is dictatorship, basically? Country governed by no shit. Governed by a dictator. Let's try the term dictator. How is that defined? A ruler with total power over a country, typically one who has abstained control by force. Okay, that would actually make him a dictator then. That would. Now, that doesn't mean he's an evil person when it comes to his people, but that does make him a dictator. Because of that, there is a slight difference, but they are very key different villains within their own series, and there is enough similarities that I guess that makes sense. There we go. God Emperor Doom. I want to be sure I get God Emperor Doom stats up here and what he's capable of doing. But this is a very unique matchup, actually, because in some ways, this is a clean-cut match, and in other ways, it's a drawn-out match. Obviously, we know Frieza. His race don't have a specific name. The fan name is Frost Demon. I don't know if that was ever officially done, but it's Frost Demon. He is a special mutation along with his brother and father within his line that gives him extra powers than his normal race. He is insanely powerful. He's not a true martial artist, but he got better in hand-to-hand combat as time went on. He's capable of manipulating his ki, using telekinesis. He's capable of basically just threatening the fabric of the universe because he got to the level of being a multiversal level threat, being Golden Frieza and Black Frieza. He got so strong that he pretty much one-shot Ultra Ego Vegeta and Ultra Instinct Goku. Mind you, I believe they were very tired after the fact of their fight with Gas, but still he one-shot them. And Vegeta's whole Ultra Ego thing is that he takes damage and then gets stronger from it. And Goku's supposed to be able to auto dodge more or less. So the fact that Frieza just came up to these two guys, just boom, and knocked out the guy who's supposed to take it and knocked out the guy who's supposed to dodge him is more than impressive. Victor Von Doom, on the other hand, is a genius. He is one of the smartest guys in the Marvel Universe, or at least on Earth. He's had a massive rivalry with Reed for years. He is a master of both science and magic. In fact, he is probably the best example of the two merging together in a proper, what's the best way to put it? He's the true merger of both science and technology. Capable of doing with technology, he's capable of doing things like just energy blasts. He has his Doom bots. He's capable of I can't remember what it's called, but he has a device that can literally let him fire things and change the size of them. He can also even switch minds with someone if he really needs to. His suit also is pretty much allows him to separate his body from the world, more or less. It survived a shot from the Infinity Gauntlet, of all things. Mind you, it was just a shot of energy. It wasn't necessarily a shot like him being the suit trying to be manipulated by the glove, with the reality warping. But still, it survived a shot from the Infinity Gauntlet. He's been known to be so skilled in magic that he was once a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. Now, if I remember correctly, he did, in some later incarnations of the comics, lose the ability to use magic, but I don't know if he's but I do not know if he is regained his ability to use magic. God Emperor Doom shared a similar history to God Emperor. What? What? Okay. Anyway, let's see, what was it? I'm trying to find the Battle World arc to, you know what? There we go. I can just go to the powers, former powers. But anyway, they are, and then they're, so he's extremely skilled. Is what I was trying to get at. And yes, apparently he does still have magic to this day, which means he can do mystical blasts, teleportation, dimensional travel, healing, portals, even time travel, elemental manipulation, power duplication, theoretically speaking, psionics, mind transference. And obviously, when we talk about God Emperor Doom, he once had the power cosmic and the Beyonder's powers. Now, the Beyonder is very interesting in this fight because Beyonder can more or less do anything. It's just the scale of what he does it at. The Beyonder race is a childlike theory of vastly powerful grew up in a universe created by the Beyonders for their young. He was not aware of the Beyonder's interpretation of personal existence. Basically, he's a being that exists outside of even the Marvel multiverse. That's how powerful the Beyonder is. So when Doom gained his power, he essentially gained the powers of a minimum a multiverse, high multiversal individual. But he's more or less a beyond that. I think the next one is Outerversal or Hyperversal. I think it's Outerversal that exists beyond multiversal. And basically, he's more powerful than beings like the Living Tribunal, like Eternity. And the Living Tribunal exists, I believe, to govern all of the not relative infinite multiverse of the Marvel Universe. So, yeah. Now, I can't say for certain if, because it's been a while since I've checked in on the comic itself, or the run. But I can't say for certain if Doom had the full powers of the Beyonder, or if he just had a small portion, and even that was enough to create Battle World. I remember that. I would imagine it was probably closer to the latter because T'Challa had to get the Infinity Gauntlet and to go toe to toe with him, and I think he still surpassed it in power, but it was a closer match there. Because the Infinity Gauntlets, as powerful as they are with the gems and everything, is only good on a universal level, no matter how big the universe. It can't affect the multiverse. So with that being said, who wins in a fight? Let's do this in a way where we compare each form of each individual. If we're looking at base Doom and say, let's just go to the lowest form of Frieza, like the Namek Saga first form of Frieza we saw. It's technically his fourth. It's not his real form, but it's the base form we saw. It's his most suppressed form, I think is the best way to put it. The issue Doom actually is going to run into immediately is the fact that once he got the Namek, everyone was moving at light speed and beyond. They're all FDL plus. So it's a matter of Doom reacting to Frieza. There's going to be, as skilled as Doom is, he's still only human. Even with, say, enhancing himself, unless we're dealing with God Emperor Doom, he does not have light speed level reaction feats, usually. Again, with some enhancements and all that, yeah, he can, but still. So Frieza already is moving at speed well beyond his purview. But the problem is that you're not going to really get a form of Frieza strong enough to do much to Doom until you get later on into the series. Because, honestly, all of Namek Saga Frieza does not have the firepower to put Doom down. He could literally throw Doom into a supernova, and it would hurt. He'd probably feel the heat. But because of the magic he has installed with his suit, and the magic he can employ, and the fact that the suit can keep him safe from something as powerful as the Infinity Gauntlet, Frieza does not have the power at Namek Saga to finish this guy off. Now, he can blitz him, knock him around, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he can't get through that armor. And with Doom having access to all his mysticism and his tech, he's eventually either going to mind swap with Frieza. He's going to just, warp him to another universe. He's going to do some matter manipulation. You name it, he'll do it, and Frieza would lose. If we go to Cyborg Frieza, it's just the same thing there. It's not until you get to Golden Frieza or up, so Golden and Black Frieza, that there is a shift here, because both of those individuals are multi-level individuals. Multiversal level individuals. Goku is often described nowadays as complex multiversal. That would mean Frieza right now surpasses him. And that means he puts him at a high complex multiversal as well. Now that's a level of power that could get through that armor. And if Frieza, if Frieza's, The problem for Frieza in this fight is his own ego. Doom has got ego, but Doom's not stupid. Frieza's got an ego, and he's not a genius. He's not stupid, but he's not a genius. So if he's in his golden or black form, he'll roast him. Doom will not survive a shot. He will not. But if he just lets the fight go on for too long, he runs the risk of, again, the mind swap Frieza just does not have an immediate defense for it. Like, no one in Dragon Ball had a defense for that, except throwing another body in the way. But Frieza can still very much outspeed Doom. Also, we do know that magic and things like time stopping can actually be overcome with a high enough level of power. We see this with Goku's fight with Hit, where he was able to overcome Hit's time skip just by increasing his power with the Kaioken to enough degree. So he's literally breaking the boundaries of time. Frieza, we know, is far stronger than that. So we know that he should be able to, like, if Doomsday time stops or whatever, he should be able to just break through that. If he tries to time travel back to a certain point in the fight, that I don't think Frieza has much to work with there. Time travel in a fight is a very weird thing. But beyond that, if we're talking about any energy manipulation, it's still, even if it's mysticism, it's still energy. So as long as his ki is high enough, he should be fine. And being a multiversal plus individual, he should be high enough. So I do think he would clear base Doom. Particularly because, again, just a powerful enough shot would just wipe Doom off the face of existence. Unless he tries to mind swap him at the last moment, which, again, if Frieza just appears and just puts his arm right through Doom's chest. Again, multiversal plus, Doom's suit essentially, or his armor, is more or less graded to like a universal level, not a multiversal level plus. But that now brings in the last contender for this. And that would be God Emperor Doom. If we had God Emperor Doom versus Frieza, assuming that God Emperor Doom, it does not hold all of the powers of the Beyonder, which I think that's kind of a safe assumption. Like, he held a solid amount, but not all of it. The question then becomes, because again, he can manipulate molecules, matter, and time, all that. The Beyonder can essentially do anything he wants. And that means Doom could, in theory, do any of that to kind of a lesser extent. The question is Frieza, and it would have to be Frieza Black at this point, because that's maxing him out. Is Frieza on a high enough level of power that he could more or less go up against a Doom with a weakened level of Beyonder's power? Because he literally just one-shot Thanos in that story, just tore out his spine and everything, Predator style. And he went toe-to-toe with T'Challa with the Infinity Gauntlet. And I believe he was actually overwhelming T'Challa. I would say that it's because he still had to go toe-to-toe with T'Challa for a while. I would say that Frieza probably holds the overall edge, but in terms of straight-out abilities, Doom's got the edge. And Doom, I think, now has closed the gap enough that one of his, now let's not call him parlor tricks, but one of his abilities should be able to not stop, but should be able to overwhelm Frieza, be it molecular manipulation, be it time freezing. Time freezing, Frieza still might be able to get out of that, but still, be it time reversal, be it the mind, again, switching minds, and then just, and then kind of like how Death Battle did with him and Luthor, just punching himself, and just, bringing antimatter in the equation. He could do that. So God Emperor Doom, I think, would get the win, but Frieza, in theory, could still kill him, I think. But I think because of just his versatility, God Emperor Doom would win that fight. Still, in the overall, it's actually Doom, I think, who wins the majority of the fights. Now, again, if I'm just going with base Doom, I don't think he can beat full power Frieza Black. Just not happening. There's too big of a gap in power there. Unless he's able to swap minds with him quick, it's not happening. Which, because of the level of speed Frieza moves at, I just don't think that's happening. But if it's God Emperor Doom versus, but if it's Doom versus any Frieza below that, I think he'd win simply because Frieza doesn't have the firepower at that point. And Golden Frieza, he should win against Doom as well. But if it's God Emperor Doom, well, I think it would be a closer fight. and Frieza should still be able to hurt him, I think there's enough going on God Emperor Noob Saber to win the day. However, this is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.